So I would like to start with the why. Why we're investing time, resources, money to make fiberglass truly circular. And this is the reason why. I think that those pictures are familiar to you, unfortunately. The fact is that today you cannot manufacture any more wind blades, so you cannot produce wind energy without composites. You cannot make boat without composites. At least not with the same efficiency, not with the same performance, not with the same accessibility. So composites are already the material of choice in many applications, and they have some inherent sustainability advantages. They provide lightweight, they last longer, they require less maintenance. What we need to do is to ensure that composites remain the material of choice well into the future, compliant with the regulations to come. So it's clear that our industry has a challenge to solve, and it is urgent. And what about fiberglass? Fiberglass is a key part of the equation. And if you went back 10 years, and then say 10 years, not 20, 50, 10 years, and you were asking to industry experts, can fiberglass be recycled? The answer would have been no. And it's true, recycling fiberglass poses a lot of challenges. We are extruding from melted glass, fiberglass, to a diameter that is far below a human hair. So it means that you need a perfect control of your viscosity, which means a perfect control of the composition of the glass, which means that every inclusion, every change in the chemistry can cause a breakage of the process, making fiberglass manufacturing impossible. So what? We are addressing all those challenges, and today we are already able to provide a fiberglass 100% circular with mass balance scheme, so ISCC Plus certified, in our plant in L'Ardoise, in France. So this is available as direct drawing, and it's based, again, on remelting of fiberglass waste. So we develop a proprietary technology, and we invested in a new process. We have a new line that allows us to introduce in our furnace glass fiber waste, and from there, we can produce what we call SUSTAINA Loop, which is 100% circular, based on mass balance, ISCC Plus certified. I will come back to the circular product offer later. Before, I would like to give you an overview of our 2030 sustainability goals and where we are today. Basically, because this gives me the chance to talk about something that we are very proud of, that are our decarbonization results. So those are our 2030 goals. 50% reduction in Scope 1, Scope 2 emission, green electricity, and zero waste to landfill. You can see, so the light green, in the light green, you can see where we are today if we consider glass fiber reinforcement business in Europe. So you can see that for Scope 1 and Scope 2 emission reduction versus a target of 50%, we are already at 37%. Is that enough? No. We want to go beyond, and actually we are improving the efficiency of our process. We are increasing what we call e-boost, so the electricity that we use with respect to the methane combustion in the production of fiberglass, so in the melting of the glass. But we are also looking at new technologies for the future. And in 2024, we have been the first player, so the first glass fiber manufacturer, to run at industrial level glass fiber manufacturing by using only hydrogen, oxygen combustion, and green electricity. So this was a trial of 1 week, and now we started a longer trial. So we started in February, a trial that will last approximately 4 months, where we want to complete the technical assessment. So we want to prove the technical feasibility on a longer run. And as well, we are going to provide product LCA data, so to allow our customer to promote low-carbon composite at their customers. Because on one side, we want to, let's say, complete the technical assessment. On the other side, we want to build the business case to potentially switch to hydrogen in the future. Okay? But I want to be clear, it will not happen before 2028, 2029. Still, we are assessing it, and we are trying to understand what is the value, the market value behind decarbonization. And I would like to show you a video that explains this even better.
In 2025, we began a new chapter. We're starting changing how fiberglass is made with low carbon emissions and circularity with real industrial solutions. Today, this vision is becoming reality here in l'Ardoise.
A year ago, we ran a week-long trial that showed us that reducing our industry CO2 emission is possible. Today, green hydrogen is produced right here on site to fuel a multi-month industrial trial. This test is designed to demonstrate the robustness, scalability, and performance at a real manufacturing scale.
It's the first time we are running hydrogen continuously at industrial scale in real manufacturing conditions. Making the hydrogen here on site helps us understand long-term reliability, cost, and what this technology could mean for a future with low CO2 glass melting.
Last year, we also introduced a new way to recycle glass fiber waste back into our furnace. This year, this process is expanding. Now, SUSTAINA Loop, our high-performing circular advantage glass, is produced at scale with different sources of waste, either waste coming from our customer, either waste coming from our production.
What we are doing here shows that circularity, decarbonization, and industrial performance can move forward together.
Let's make circularity possible.
Let's make more possible.
Nice. So, coming back at our strategy. Our strategy is built on 3 pillars. One is decarbonization, that we just discussed. The other is being safe and sustainable by design. That means to phase out products that do not align with our sustainability targets. So it's also about compliance. And then there is the pillar on circularity. This is really our focus. This is what we believe should be the focus of the composite industry. So this means integrating circular content in our products. It means turning waste into new products. And it also means moving from pre-consumer circular content to post-consumer circular content. So I mentioned before SUSTAINA Loop. This is based on pre-consumer circular content, but we have planned to progressively move to our end target, that is end-of-life recycling. And how do we look at circularity? Basically, for us, circularity, it's not only about our waste, it's about closing the loop with our value chain and how we can integrate the waste of our customer in our recycling process. So we see 3 levels of circularity. The first one is about our waste. For sure, this is our accountability, and it's also in line with our target of sending 0 waste to landfill. The second level is about customer waste. So today, we are already able to take back glass fiber waste from our customer and put in our remelting line in l'Ardoise, this proprietary technology that we developed, to produce SUSTAINA Loop. So with the SUSTAINA Loop product offer, we already reached the second level of circularity. And we are working to arrive at the 4th level, that is end-of-life waste. Okay? But for sure, this is not an effort only of us, but it's a common effort of the industry. So we'll come back also later to some successful collaboration examples that we did to develop composite recyclability. First, some additional information about SUSTAINA Loop. So again, 100% circular. What is the additional advantage? Is 18% reduction of product carbon footprint versus our baseline that is already very competitive. And this is available as direct drawing It's produced in l'ardoise, and it's a drop-in solution, okay? So basically, we remelt the glass. We bring back the glass at its initial value. Everything is done in an existing asset, in our furnace, okay? So the performance is exactly the same of the virgin or standard grade, okay? This means that no qualification is needed, and you can incorporate circular content in your composite product from tomorrow. We talked about SUSTAINA Loop. SUSTAINA Loop is based on glass fiber waste remelting, but we also have another way to include circular content in the material that we sell. This is SUSTAINA. For SUSTAINA, we use waste coming from other industries, okay? So we are not closing the loop inside the composite ecosystem, but, okay, it's still about reducing waste to landfill, it's still about circularity. And this product offer is available in our plant in Besana, where we produce multi-endroving, continuous filament mat, and chop strand mat. So basically, today, all our melting plant in Europe are ISCC Plus certified. So this gives us a unique opportunity to incorporate circular content in the composite of our customers. Also, SUSTAINA, of course, is a drop-in solution. And regarding the value of SUSTAINA Loop and SUSTAINA, I mean, if we look at circularity, it's very clear. Let's take SUSTAINA Loop. For every ton of SUSTAINA Loop that we produce, basically we save at least 1 ton of virgin raw materials, and we substitute, replacing them with waste, okay? And this is just another way to see our product offer. Multi-endroving, chop strand mat, all what we produce in Besana, direct drawing from l'ardoise, and soon we are also going to have circular fabric. So we are going to certify also our weaving plant. So before summer, we are going also to have a circular fabric, ISCC Plus certified. Again, we cannot close the loop alone. So closing the loop for composite is about collaboration. And to be successful, you really need to involve all the value chain. And I would like to give you an example of a successful collaboration that we did together with SABIC, Audi, and OP Mobility. In 2024, we started a project together with those partners to demonstrate closed-loop recycling of an automotive tailgate to meet the end-of-life vehicle regulation target. So we started from a tailgate that has been shredded. It has been pyrolyzed using correct process, and then the constituent materials have been recovered. And they have been recovered in a relevant industrial environment. We remelted the glass fiber in our plant in l'ardoise, again, proprietary technology, while SABIC recovered the pyrolysis oil. Basically, they upgraded the oil, they co-fed it into the steam cracker to produce circular olefin, and then from this, they produce circular polypropylene, okay? And then they produce stomachs, so LFT pellets with polypropylene, having both circular content in the fiber fraction and in the polymer fraction. The tailgate has been molded by OP Mobility, and together with Audi, it has been validated and equal performance to the virgin grade in terms of geometry, aesthetical, and mechanical. So it's also about how we work with association and in consortium. Again, it's about including all the players of the value chain. Here you can see some of the association and consortium we're in. And basically, this is to advance the composite circularity. It's about also promoting the value of composite. As we said at the beginning, composite have inherent sustainability advantages, so they are materials who are essential for the green transition. And then it's about making composite compliant with future regulations. Okay? Last but not least, again, our end goal is to move to end-of-life recycling. is to move from pre-consumer circular content to post-consumer circular content. So we are establishing partnership with different recyclers in Europe. Here you see some name. And you can see that they are scaling up capacity as well. So we are moving from 1 kiloton capacity overall to 8 kiloton. This is a plan. But it means that pyrolysis is becoming more and more a solution for recycling composite material. And here we have two goals. I mean, our ambition is to give a scalable solution for glass fiber after end-of-life process, okay? And then to move from pre-consumer to post-consumer. So this year we plan to qualify the process of some of the suppliers. We plan to qualify the waste streams, and we plan to incorporate more and more glass fibers coming from end-of-life process in our recycling operation. So we have started with the why, the reason why we are investing so much. You have seen that we already made tangible progresses that translated in a circular offer that allow to integrate circular content in the composite from tomorrow. And I mean, we are very eager to have more and more partnership and collaboration and to support our customer in this very challenging yet exciting journey. Thank you. Any question from the audience? You can make question now or later. I will be in that area for 20 minutes more or less, and you can address me all the questions you have. There is a question.
Thank you for your presentation. I appreciate you very much. I'm Fernanda from Embraer, Brazil. And I would like to ask you about how many years you think that it's become possible for aeronautic applications? Do you think that it's possible to start the application for aeronautic parts? The application you are starting to apply in automotive parts, but for aeronautic parts, do you think that becomes easy?
Okay, so first to be clear, the project was a demo project, so to demonstrate the technical feasibility of closed-loop recycling, so it means that the solution is not industrial for the time being. Still, the pyrolysis was done at pilot scale, but the recovery of the polypropylene and the glass fiber was done in a relevant industrial environment. But regarding aeronautic, I mean, we're looking for solution for composite materials, and actually pyrolysis and then remelting of glass fibers apply to almost every composite material. So as soon as the business case makes sense, as soon as there is a certain volume waste that can be provided to the recyclers, we can work on that. Good. Thank you very much.